Well, let's start with the definition of the ceremony itself, which is Hozho ceremony. And it was my late brother Ralph Davis who asked my late father's brother, my late Uncle Tom. His wife is Aunt Faye. We asked her, Auntie, what does Hozho and the Hozho ceremony, what does it what does it actually mean? Because people are translating it into English saying it's the blessing way. And she didn't hesitate. She came out with the phrase and a smile and a twinkle in her eye, and she said, it's living the loving way as a way of life. So that's the origin of this statement. And the term Hozho itself is the all-encompassing holiness with H and wholeness with W, that every person, past, present, and future, we exist eternally in this holiness and wholeness, Hozho. And I have described it for the young people in a simple way to understand it in a practical and realistic way in terms of the context of decision making, that there are only two intentions, and that is the destructive and death producing intention for decision making, which is win lose and nobody wins. And that uh, we have another term for, which I will create another lesson, another section regarding that term. However, the term Hozho, I translate it simply as, and especially for um, writing and speaking this in English in such a way that shows and reveals to the general public that our language is practical, it's realistic, and most of all, it's cross-cultural and inclusive because it's applying to decision making that there are only two intentions, and Hozho is the intention for constructive and life-affirming decisions for those outcomes that's constructive and life affirming for those benefits for the collective, for our collective survival. And that is because we each will access our inherent genius gifts for win-win. Everybody wins with our inherent genius gifts for making decisions for our basic needs and for our collective survival. And Hozho is where we all exist. We're awake spiritually, and people are denying that we are existing and we are all awake in our conscience, our whole brain thinking, which is Zen holy thinking. That's whole brain thinking, conscience, and moral reasoning. We're existing in this Hozho state eternally. And people who are believing or thinking that they exist outside of and separate are not awake. They're spiritually asleep. And so people are sadly and currently denying this oneness of holiness and wholeness within Hozho. And when people deny and believe that they exist outside of or separate from Hozho, then they are intending to destroy the planet, our sacred Mother Earth, the environment, and humanity as humane beings, then we are in peril. That is the emphasis and the importance of truly embodying and sincerely understanding that we all exist simultaneously and synchronistically within Hozho.